At least 70 migrant teens being housed at the downtown convention center have tested positive for COVID-19. There are now more than 700 girls staying at the temporary shelter. 247 arrived just last night. 32 of them tested positive for the virus. They are isolating on a different floor of the convention center apart from the rest. So far, none of the teenagers has been hospitalized. Today, for the first time, journalists were allowed inside the largest Customs and Border Protection holding facility for migrants.
The Texas tent facility is holding more than 4,100 people, more than 3,400 of them children who crossed the border by themselves. The facility opened last month and is designed to hold only 250 people. It's been divided into rooms holding 32 kids each, separated by plastic walls. A departure from the chain link fencing used by the Trump administration. Families are housed in a separate pod. Eventually, they are to be moved to long-term care facilities run by Health and Human Services, like the one now operating at the San Diego Convention Center. Meantime, tonight, a Honduran couple seeking asylum in the United States says they were returned to Mexico as the wife went into labor. News 8's Brandon Lewis has the story.
This is the eastern crossing of San Ysidro. It's where she says border officials dropped her off. She says it was only thanks to some Good Samaritans and nonprofits that she was able to make it to a hospital to deliver her baby.
Alan says he took this video in the back of a Border Patrol vehicle after he and his wife, Belkis, were caught entering the U.S. trying to seek asylum. Earlier in the day, she had some pain, but then went into labor while waiting for a transport van. News 8 is not using their full name or faces because they are concerned for their family's safety in Honduras and their safety in Mexico.
I
thought that they were going to attend to her, that they were going to help her. But they did not. The agent said, if you want to be a good man, care for your wife in Mexico, because this is not your country. I said, Mexico isn't my country either. Why are you sending me to Mexico?
Instead, the couple was driven to San Ysidro while Alan recorded this short video.
I wanted to take the full video, but she was afraid. I felt fear, so I only recorded the first part where she is on the floor in a lot of pain. I couldn't stand it anymore because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to act.
They were returned to Mexico, where an ambulance took them to a Rosarito hospital to have their baby, Daphne.
¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa, mamacita? ¿Qué pasa?
Customs and Border Protection doesn't comment on specific cases, but has said generally it provides detainees with medical aid. The border closed last year to asylum seekers because of the pandemic, and those who are caught between ports are returned to Mexico. It's another setback for Alan and Belkis, who say they are fleeing violence in Honduras and spent nearly her entire pregnancy slowly making their way north.
We wanted to come and ask for help here, to get asylum, but to this day, no one has taken care of us. No one has listened to us. It's already been 3 months here without any help. I don't want to cry often so she doesn't feel bad, but actually, sometimes I can't hold back.
The couple and their baby are hoping to declare asylum in the United States once the border formally reopens, but so far the Biden administration hasn't signaled when that might be. We'll send it back to you.
The man suspected of leading the smuggling operation that led to 13 immigrants being killed in a crash near El Centro was arrested last night while crossing the U.S.-Mexico border at Calexico. Today, federal prosecutors charged 47-year-old Jose Cruz Noguez with human smuggling. News 8's Abby Alford reports on why prosecutors believe he has been leading these illegal operations for quite a while.
In the federal complaint, it lays out Jose Cruz's alleged role in this human smuggling case, but it also shows he's been a leader in other operations. The suspect behind the deadly smuggling crash in Holt Mill earlier this month has been charged and identified as 47-year-old Mexican national Jose Cruz Noguez. Federal court records show an informant set up a secret recorded conversation with Cruz, who admitted that he helped lead and recruit the operation. Court records show that Cruz oversaw transporting undocumented migrants to stash houses, collecting money, and recruiting associates in other operations. News 8 spoke with Pedro Rios, an immigration rights activist with the American Friends Service Committee, for insight.
As you say, it's not something that is atypical. This is something that probably happens on a much more regular basis for someone to feel so brazen that they could do it over and over again.
On March 2nd, prosecutors say that Cruz was involved in smuggling 44 undocumented migrants in 2 separate vehicles. A 10-foot hole was found at the border fence near El Centro. Investigators say a Ford Expedition crammed with 25 Mexican and Guatemalan nationals crashed into a tractor trailer in Holtville that killed 13 people ages 19 to 53. 6 were transferred to San Diego trauma centers. Some are still hospitalized. The prosecutor tells News 8 that they've approved humanitarian parole so their families across the border can be with them.
That makes a lot of sense for the families to be able to be with their loved ones as they're recovering from their injuries.
Other immigration rights groups such as the Federation for American Immigration Reform says that the horrific crash magnifies the border crisis.
So the only way to prevent this massive abuse and to prevent the criminal cartels from doing what they're doing is to have an orderly process, demand that people who have political asylum cases file those cases outside the United States.
The judge ordered that Cruz remain in custody. His next court appearance is on Monday.